Today we're talking about what is inside my street photography bag. And that's if I actually bring one with me whenever I'm going on street photography or like a casual photo walk. I don't always do though, but whenever I do, this is what I carry with me. And yes, I know, we don't usually talk about like gear, like very specifically into gear in this channel, but it's also something I'm very passionate about. So what we have here is the Billingham Hadley Pro, and I've been using this messenger bag for I say around like 8 or 9 years now. Actually never really cleaned it, and there's like GoPro stains everywhere. Okay, it's not that bad, but it's actually very durable and it holds up really well even though I've been using it for such a long time. And that was the plan back then when I first tried to get a camera bag. I wanted one that I can use for a very long time, and this bag did not disappoint at all. So whenever I'm going out for street photography or just a casual photo walk, I'll bring this bag with me because it's got compartments that pretty much fits all my need, and personally I don't carry too much. And there's just a lot more space in here that I really don't utilize. And I did that on purpose because I do not want to carry way too much on me all the time, especially for a photo walk like this. I normally want to keep everything very light and very casual, very simple, so I don't have to dig through my bag all the time just to find the gear or things I need. I'd rather not to bring it and just know exactly what I have and use them. We often talk about not bringing too much gear to the point where it becomes a distraction for us on the street. And I'm a huge advocate for that idea and concept, because distraction not only comes from your camera and lens, it also comes with whatever that you're bringing with you. And most importantly, knowing how to shoot comfortably matters. So right inside my messenger bag, there's like Velcro compartments that I've set up. One part is very tall where I can hold my drinks or like small tripod like this. And on the other side, that's where I keep my main camera. And the one that I'm rocking right now is the Fujifilm X100T. I've had this camera since it came out, and I just never seen the need to upgrade this camera for me so far. After all these years, it still works really well, and there's like battle scars everywhere on this camera. I'm not the kind of person who babies their gear. I really just take it out and use them, and this really shows how durable the Fujifilm is. Like, just look at this thing. And as you see, I personally don't use a camera strap, and you probably noticed this if you've seen my other videos. And I used to use a camera strap like all the time, where I just wrap the camera strap around my hand and just hold the camera that way so it feels more secure. But after a while, using a strap becomes more like a fashion to me, and I find myself just looking at different straps like I'm going through a gas syndrome for straps, camera straps. And most importantly, I find myself way too comfortable whenever I'm shooting with the strap. I feel safe, and I don't feel like the camera is an extension. Instead, it's more like an accessory. I stopped taking photos like mindfully. So I just decided to just ditch the strap altogether and use the camera as is without the strap. This way I can be really focused on what I'm taking photos of. The camera becomes like an actual extension of me, where I'm always aware that I'm holding a camera in my hand, which makes me really focused when I'm taking photos on the street. But like I mentioned earlier, knowing how to shoot comfortably that works for you, it's a lot more important. So if you are a strap person, I recommend a strap from Peak Design. And this one, the one I use, I think this is called the Leash. It's the smallest strap that they have. It's definitely not the best looking strap out there, but it's very functional, and you can release the strap whenever you want with just a click. And I'm sure if you're familiar with Peak Design's product, it's gonna be really intuitive to use. And I always keep the strap inside my camera bag just in case if I ever need to use a camera strap. Now right beside the main camera compartment, I always have a GoPro with me or on me per se, because I'm making a lot more videos now. So just in case if there's like BTS footage that I want to capture, or just different things that I see interesting, I want to capture it and show it in the video. And the size of the GoPro just fits perfectly because it's very small, and the one I'm using here is the GoPro Hero 8. And the accessory I'm using here with the GoPro is the magnetic clip mount, or however you call this thing, I forgot the name. Basically I can attach this to any magnetic surface, and this is what I usually do whenever I need to capture like behind the scene footage on the street. I'll just put this on a lamppost. It works really well for time-lapse too. And as for this clip, it's very strong and hasn't disappointed yet. By the way, I also use this exact GoPro for all of my POV street photography videos. I don't have like a chest mount or anything, but what I do is I actually clamp this to my bag, either this one, whenever I'm wearing it right in the middle, I'll just clamp the GoPro on the strap. Or if I'm using my bigger bag, I'll just clamp this GoPro right in the middle of my chest. It's definitely not the safest and the best way to capture these kind of POV videos, but so far this kind of works for me right now. This magnetic GoPro accessory is just very versatile to the point where I just don't find the need for myself to get another or other chest mount accessory for this. Now on the other side of the bag, this is where I keep the tabletop tripod. And the one I'm using currently is the PGYTECH Mantis Pro. This tripod, it's probably like one of my favorite tabletop tripod as of now. I have tried tons of tabletop tripods, and this one by far is the most reliable and versatile tabletop tripod that I've ever used. One interesting feature about this tripod is that I can hook this leg onto like the car door or the back of the chair, or a fence if you want. So if I have a wall like the one behind me like this, I can actually mount this tripod up there and have the camera here, kind of like this. Now my favorite feature about this tripod is that there's a lock here that you can find, and once you place your camera inside this tripod, you can lock it in front. So this way you'll know for sure your camera won't fall out of your tabletop tripod. And you don't see this kind of lock in most of the small tripod like this. And the best thing about this tripod, I have to say, it's actually the tripod plate. This looks like a normal Arca Swiss plate, but you can actually mount this in your camera. So you just kind of screw it on here and then just kind of lock it and make it tight. But whenever it unscrews itself, you don't have to tighten it again, and the camera is not gonna fall out. Because the way it's designed is that whenever the plate is loose, the camera and the plate is not gonna separate by itself. So it's more like a safety whenever your plate is loose. And we all had that moment where the tripod plate is loose on the camera and it just kind of wiggles around on your tripod, which is not safe at all. And we don't want anything to happen to our camera, of course. And other than all of the functions that I mentioned, there's so much more to this tripod, and it's just my favorite vlogging tripod as of now. Let's go ahead and move to the front compartment of the bag. And this part is where I keep a separate SD card just in case, kind of like an extra. If I finish shooting on this SD card, I can move on to the next one. The extra SD card I have here is the 64GB from SanDisk, and I like it. I haven't had any issues with it. It's always good to have backup, you know. And at the front of the bag, over here at this compartment, this is where I keep a hand sanitizer, you know. And two spare batteries, one for the GoPro and one for my Fujifilm. As you know, both of these are not exactly good in battery. They don't last for too long. Not at all, actually. So usually I have two more Fujifilm battery. Right now I just have one, the other one is charging. Last but not least, in the bag is a fountain pen from Lamy. I carry this pen pretty much everywhere with me, just whenever I need to write it or anything. And the nib here I have is the extra fine nib, because I find the fine a bit too thick for my handwriting. My handwriting is not the greatest. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. But that doesn't stop me from having like an actual fountain pen, because it just feels really good to write on one. I mean, this is not the most expensive fountain pen that you can find. It's probably on the lower end side. I think this is like $25, I believe, when I first got it. Either way, I've been using this pen for a good 5-6 years now, and it's still really good, very nice. So yeah, this is pretty much it. My street photography everyday carry. This is all I bring in a photo log, like a casual one, if I bring a bag, of course. If I'm bringing a Ricoh, I'll most likely just keep it in my pocket and keep the spare battery in my back pocket. And that's pretty much it. Let me know, what do you have in your everyday carry? I'm really curious. And what kind of camera do you bring with you all the time? Right now I'm rocking with the Fujifilm, but hey, there's so many different ones. If it's Canon that you're carrying, which lens you're using, comment down below, I would love to know. And don't forget to smash the like button if you like these kind of content, gear, and just, you know, everyday things, very normal stuff. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.